My name is Sophia, and for most of my life, I believed I was one of the lucky ones. I had two constants, my best friend Amna and my fiancé Daniel. Amna and I had been inseparable since high school. She was the kind of friend who finished my sentences, laughed at my dumbest jokes, and held me when I cried. If you'd asked me back then, I would have sworn that nothing could ever come between us. And Daniel, meeting him felt like destiny. He was charming, intelligent, and the kind of man who looked at me like I was the only person in the room. Our love story seemed straight out of a fairy tale. When he proposed, I cried tears of joy. And of course, Amna was the first person I called. To the outside world, my life looked perfect. A best friend who was like my sister. A fiancé who adored me. What more could I possibly want? But life has a cruel way of hiding daggers in the shadows. At first, it was little things. Amna would always compliment Daniel in ways that felt different. You're so lucky, Sophia. Daniel is so handsome, so smart, so perfect. She'd say it with a smile. But sometimes I caught a glimmer in her eyes that unsettled me. Still, I brushed it off. Best friends are supposed to admire each other's partners, right? Daniel, for his part, never gave me a reason to doubt him. He treated me with love and respect, always telling me I was his world. And whenever Amna came over, he welcomed her warmly, almost too warmly. But I ignored the gnawing feeling in my gut. My mistake was trusting too much. Because beneath the laughter, the dinners, and the group selfies, betrayal was brewing like poison. The first real crack appeared one evening when I invited Amna over for a casual dinner. I had cooked pasta, poured wine, and set the table for 3. Halfway through the meal, I noticed how Amna's laughter rang louder at Daniel's jokes than mine ever did. She leaned forward, touching his arm when she giggled, her eyes sparkling in a way that made my stomach twist. Daniel didn't pull away. He smiled back at her. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. Was I imagining it? Was jealousy turning me into someone I didn't recognize? Over the next few weeks, Amna started visiting more often. Sometimes she'd show up uninvited, claiming she just wanted to hang out. But strangely, she always seemed to come when Daniel was home. I noticed subtle shifts. Her makeup always perfect, her dresses a little too polished, her perfume lingering in the living room, long after she left. Then there were the excuses. Daniel cancelling dinner plans with me because Amna needed him to help fix her car, or the time he missed a movie date because Amna was upset about work and he couldn't leave her alone. Every time I questioned it, he made me feel guilty. She's your best friend, Sophia. Don't you want me to care about her too? I bit my tongue, swallowing the unease that grew heavier with each passing day. But my heart knew something was wrong. The breaking point came when I accidentally overheard them one evening. I was walking back from the kitchen when I stopped outside the living room. Their voices were low, hushed, but the intimacy in their tone was unmistakable. Amna whispered, "What if she finds out?" Daniel chuckled softly. "She won't. She trusts us too much." My chest tightened. My knees went weak. I wanted to burst into the room and scream, demand answers, but I froze. Instead, I retreated quietly, my heart pounding so loud I thought it would burst. That night, for the first time, I cried not from doubt, but from certainty. Once suspicion takes root, it grows like a wildfire. I became more observant, more careful. I checked Daniel's phone when he was in the shower. What I found shattered me. Messages from Amna. Not friendly, not sisterly. Messages dripping with desire. "I miss you. Last night was perfect. When can I see you again?" And his replies, equally damning. "You're all I think about. Soon, my love." My stomach turned. My best friend. My fiancé. Together. I felt like my world had caved in, like I was standing on quicksand, sinking deeper with every breath. But I didn't confront them. Not yet. If I accused them without proof, they would twist it, gaslight me, make me doubt my sanity. I needed undeniable evidence, so I started collecting screenshots of messages, photos of receipts, late-night phone records, even hotel bookings Daniel had made under fake names, but always with his credit card. Each piece of evidence was a knife in my chest, but I held onto them like weapons, waiting for the right moment to strike. And then it happened. One night, Daniel told me he had a late meeting. My instincts screamed otherwise. I followed him. He drove across town, parking outside a small, dimly lit hotel. Minutes later, Amna arrived, my best friend, dressed in black, her lipstick blood red. I watched them walk inside together. Tears blurred my vision, but fury burned hotter than heartbreak. In that moment, I made a decision. I wouldn't scream. I wouldn't fight. I wouldn't beg. I would destroy them, not with violence, not with anger, but with the truth. And I knew exactly when to do it. Daniel's upcoming birthday party. Daniel's birthday was always a grand affair, and this year was no exception. A lavish party hall, golden decorations, chandeliers, sparkling above rows of elegantly dressed guests. Everyone who mattered in his world was there. Family, friends, colleagues. I wore a crimson dress that hugged my curves, bold lipstick, painting a smile that hid the storm brewing inside me. Amna arrived in a glittering silver gown, clinging to Daniel's arm like she belonged there. Guests whispered, some raising eyebrows at their closeness, but no one dared say a word. The evening flowed with laughter, champagne, and music. I moved among the crowd with practiced grace, greeting people, forcing smiles. Inside, my heart raced with anticipation. When the cake was brought out, cameras flashed. Daniel stood proudly, Amna beside him, while I lingered calmly at his other side. After the candles were blown, I tapped my glass with a spoon. Ting, ting, ting. The hall fell silent. Ladies and gentlemen, I said, my voice steady, before we toast to Daniel, I'd like to share something special. A glimpse into the life behind these smiles. The lights dimmed. A projector screen lit up. Gasps filled the room as the first slide appeared. Text messages between Daniel and Amna. Words no siblings or best friends should ever exchange. Then came the emails, the hotel receipts, the late-night call logs. Finally, a photo of Daniel and Amna entering the hotel together. The room erupted in chaos. Shocked whispers. Phones recording. Eyes darting between the three of us. Amna's face turned ashen. Daniel stammered, rushing forward to stop me. But it was too late. The truth was out. I looked at him, my voice cutting through the noise. You chose her over me. On your birthday, let everyone see what you really are. The party collapsed into pandemonium. Guests whispered like wildfire, their shocked faces immortalizing Daniel and Amna's shame. Within minutes, the scandal began spreading online, phones flashing as recordings hit social media. Daniel reached for me, his voice trembling. Sophia, please, let me explain. I stepped back, eyes cold as steel. There's nothing left to explain. I gave you my heart, and you shattered it. Amna tried to speak, but her words drowned in the storm of disgust from the crowd. People turned away from her, their admiration replaced with contempt. By the end of the night, Daniel's carefully crafted image as the perfect fiancé, the perfect man, was ruined. His empire of lies collapsed in front of everyone he cared about. And me? I walked out of that hall with my head held high, heels clicking against the marble floor like a victory march. I didn't cry. I didn't look back. The next morning, headlines screamed of the scandal. Social media exploded with hashtags. Videos of my speech went viral. Daniel and Amna became the face of betrayal, mocked and shamed publicly. Weeks later, I signed the divorce papers. Freedom never tasted so sweet. I moved into a new apartment, decorated it with colors I loved, filled it with laughter that was only mine. On my desk, I placed one new photo frame, a picture of me, smiling alone, stronger than ever. For the first time, I didn't need Daniel. I didn't need Amna. I had chosen myself, and that, I realized, was the most powerful revenge of all. The end.